Hello, boys and girls. I hope that you guys are all having a great day today, and thank you for taking the time to come hang out and watch this video. It really is greatly appreciated. So I've been considering doing some videos about Gorr the God Butcher for a while now, and now that we know that he is going to be the big bad in Thor: Love and Thunder, I figured that if I was ever going to talk about him on this channel, I might as well do it now while he's trending. Now in this video though, we're going to be talking about Gorr's life before he became the God Butcher, when he was just a mortal struggling to survive on an inhospitable planet. That way we can figure out how this seemingly innocent child came to hate the gods to such an extent that when he grew up, spending thousands of years traveling across the entire universe, killing all the gods that he sees, seemed like a reasonable course of action. Now, Gorr lived a hard, tragic life, but everything bad that happened to him happened as a consequence of being born on the planet that he was born on. The planet has no name, it's just a vast, barren wasteland. The intensity of the sun creates conditions on the surface that make it difficult to spend too much time exposed on the surface, forcing Gorr and his people to actually take shelter in caves and live in caves. Food and water is so scarce that constantly being on the brink of starvation is just a part of life, and when thirsty, there have been times that they actually had to resort to licking the moisture off the walls of their caves. This is a planet with conditions that are so extreme that living to be 30 years old is considered a long life. Now, despite everything that his people had to endure, they remained dedicated to their gods, so Gorr was taught to pray to the gods and trust them, so they would watch over him and keep him safe. Even as a child, though, Gorr questioned the existence of the gods because he watched his people suffer, he watched them starve, he watched his people die. He watched them pray and he watched their prayers go unanswered. He watched them beg the gods for help and he watched as their pleas got ignored. To Gorr, this meant one of two things: the gods did not exist, or the gods did not care. He lost both of his parents when he was still a child. His father died from the sun fever, his mother died under some circumstances that were a bit more complicated. She had brought him to a shrine to their gods, where they left an offering for the gods. She told Gorr that it was so that the gods would watch over them and keep them safe. But before they could even leave the shrine, they were attacked by two sand tigers, and she was killed trying to protect him to buy him time to escape. When he grew up, he started his own family. He had a few kids, he had a wife. His wife was pregnant though, and since food was so scarce where they were at, Gorr was scared that they were all going to starve to death. So he tried to convince his wife to go with him to a different cave, and she just told him to have faith in the gods and they would provide for him, and that he needs to put his life in the hands of the gods and listen for their voices. But before he was able to do that, there was an earthquake. The cave they were in started to collapse, and the ground beneath his wife gave out, and he watched as his wife and his unborn child fell to their deaths. After losing his wife, it was not long before his daughters got sick and died. His son died from eating rocks because he got so hungry, and his very last son, Agar, died of starvation in Gorr's arms while he was carrying him while they were searching for food. In their culture, when somebody dies, they put the body in a tree so the gods could see them and take them into the sky. At this point, though, Gorr no longer believed in the gods, so he chose to bury Agar instead, and this did not go unnoticed. There was a confrontation between Gorr and the rest of his tribe that resulted in Gorr being banished after claiming that the gods did not exist. Now, while he was wandering the planet, Gorr witnessed a fireball fall from the sky, so he went to investigate. And laying in the crater, he found two gods, one black and one golden, each impaled on the other's blade. Now, this is a lot for Gorr to take in because up to this point in his life, he had always believed that the gods did not exist. So as he stood there, though, trying to understand what he was looking at, the golden god asked him for help, and this pissed Gorr off. So he started asking him where the gods were at when his people needed them, when his wife and his mother died, when his children starved to death. And in the middle of this tirade, the sword that the black god was holding changed its shape and it bonded to Gorr, and Gorr used it to kill the golden god. Gorr realized that if these two gods exist, there had to be others, and since his new weapon gave him the power to kill gods, he decided that he would dedicate the rest of his life to the complete eradication of all the gods across all of space and time, and he left his planet in search of more. Now, that black god, that was actually Null, the god that created the symbiotes. And the black sword that he was holding that bonded with Gorr was actually, it's called All Black, the Necro Sword. It's the first and the most powerful symbiote that Nola created for the sole purpose of using it to kill gods. He actually manifested it from his shadow and used it to decapitate one of the Celestials whenever they were trying to start building the universe. But since All Black is a symbiote, it is to a certain extent sentient. So it's self-aware and it knows what's going on around it and its surroundings. Now, like Null, it had the desire to kill gods because it actually feeds on the souls of the slain gods. Now, with Null being incapacitated after their fight with the Golden God, when Gorr arrived and made his hatred of the gods obvious, All Black chose to leave Null and bond with Gorr. Since All Black was meant to be used by God and Gorr was only immortal, bonding with All Black corrupted his mind and turned him into the being that would eventually earn the name of the God Butcher. Now, that's all we've got for this video. I've got a few more Gorr videos that I'll hopefully have out before the movie comes out, hopefully. The other videos that you can expect to be coming out pretty soon, there's going to be one about Null and All Black. I got a video about a fight between Null, Nyx, and the Griever at the Ends of All Things. It's going to be coming out soon. Part 2 of the One Dark Side Fears. And then another useless comic book character about a character named Dog Welder. And if you don't want to miss any of those videos, you might want to make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on. If you've made it this far, though, thank you. If it's not too much to ask, please hit that like button before you go. And with all that being said, I will see you guys next time.
Somebody save me from myself. I've spent so long living in hell. They say my lifestyle is bad for my health. It's the only thing that seems to help. All of these drinking and smoking